Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia. Welcome back to our subscriber game tournament season 2 as we are kicking off round 3 today with a matchup against Vermillion Bird. And of course his opponent is me for this round 3 as this is a time trial for the 6 players who tied in their round 2 siege matchup. Now taking a look at his composition, he brought Yan Baihu, Lu Bu, and Sun Ren. And putting Yan Baihu first here is definitely not a mistake, and it's actually a really good utilization of just mental pressure against me, as I know for a fact my army will not have foresight. And knowing that he has Yan Baihu will force me to adjust how I will run away, because I know that if I spread out too much, I might bump into invisible units scattered across the map, and it will make my life pretty miserable at that point, as I would get caught and perhaps other units can reinforce, and then I would have a fast defeat, as my purpose here is to try to stall the match out as long as possible and to lose slowly. As for units, it's pretty much the cheapest, fastest cavalry available. We have the Bandit Raiders on both Sun Ren and Lu Bu, or Raider Cav as they're called, and then the Bandit Raiders on Yan Baihu. So all very cheap cavalry, but all very fast cavalry. And let's just hop into the match to look at deployment to see how he's approaching this match. And taking a look at the deployment here, well, first actually I should describe my deployment. It will be very similar for all 6 matchup, as I want to keep it as fair as possible. As we're showcasing this in the order of being played, as Vermillion Bird was the first player to play against me, my setup might change slightly in terms of how neat it looks, but in essence I always deploy to the right side of the starting deployment zone for the purpose of dashing for this hill, because these 2 bumps will help me create a little bit of vision denial, and maybe my units will be able to slip across, either going to the north here or running to the bottom corner here. And aside from that, I decided to bunch them all together really tight here because I know he has Yan Baihu, and I was worried that if I start scattering right away, I might just give up my position. I was hoping to activate, or I did activate, surprise attack as soon as the battle started. And his unit, knowing that I have no guerrilla deployment, because all 3 of my generals actually do not have guerrilla deployment for the unit, so I cannot get out of the zone, has all guerrilla deployed because he has picked 3 generals that all have guerrilla deployment right up to the edge of my deployment zone, spread across the entire map, to ensure him enough vision that I can only run to the bottom side, essentially. It's a really smart deployment that I can't really do very much about, as we will kick things off. Now I realize I can probably hide the time, but I don't think it matters very much, as you can just use the video time to estimate how fast these players defeated me, or perhaps I defeated them, who knows. But I think it's fine. It's more about the process and the rationale behind it. The general choices are pretty good. We have fast generals because Sun Ren has Nature's Ally for his or her units nearby. Lu Bu just has a really fast horse, and Yan Baihu is providing a little extra movement speed with his tactical withdrawal, even though he's probably the slowest general off the 3. I think his base speed is only 80, but with all the bonuses, it's quite fast. I started scattering here after bumping into them because I wanted to try to preserve most of my cavalry, so I would offer him something to chase. And the rest are going for this little cliff, as I was hoping to maybe maneuver to the north at this point. I kept a couple to go to the bottom corner anyways. As you can see, this little bump can help hide them, just to potentially have something to delay them in the future. We did have one break free, but you can see everyone's shifting. Now, I don't have full vision either, so I don't know where the rest of the cavalry are, and Yan Baihu's cavalry are also invisible to me. It's quite hard to tell which one are Yan Baihu's, but they're essentially these here, and these 2 here, as well as the ones that we actually got into combat with. So Vermillion Bird's pretty smart in knowing that I'm going for corners, even though they're still not really visible at this point. But they're chasing over there. I'm trying to decide how do I break out of this, because it definitely looks like I'm getting surrounded. And I basically decided that my generals, the unbreakable unit, are the ones that are most valuable. And if I fight away from Lu Bu, who has the gaze, I can probably break out at least the generals and maybe some units. So I went with a charge down. But then I lost vision on them because they're the bandit raiders who has stock, which was really annoying. But now that we see them, I'm just going to do a direct charge, mainly to pull my generals out. I gave everyone unbreakable here, even though it's the range block chance ability, but it does have the unbreakable factor on. You can see all the units swarming. There's good micro on the side where they continue to pursue, not relenting on any of the side fights. I only got this cavalry out, which is a bit unfortunate, and let's see if I can break my generals out, which was my main goal here. Basically, if I can keep the 3 generals alive, there's a chance to extend this match, as the cavalry, after getting trapped or getting pressed by half of the map, it was kind of hard to hide on only the bottom half. So as you can see, we had enough speed to break through. I also have a copy of the Nature's Ally ability on Sima Wei, which helps give everyone a nice little speed boost, 120, 130, 130. They're 95, the Bandit Raiders are a little bit slow, but they have pursuit speed, so they will stay on me and make sure I don't exit vision for no reason. Lu Bu is probably going to come chase at us. There was a very smart use of this unit just going to check the corners. I thought I got away with it, but Vermillion Bird was pretty active in that. Relentless on my units. The one that was chasing over here actually got beaten, so I killed off his one unit pursuing here, but he's going to send another one very soon. These outran their counterparts as the Bandit Raiders are a bit slow. They don't get the bonus from having a Vanguard general. The one downfall of not putting a Vanguard first and putting Yan Baihu first is that it doesn't give the whole army effect for the speed boost. So I had Sima Wei as my commanding general for a good reason, because he was giving all my cavalry the extra speed boost from 95 to 119. Unfortunately, putting Yan Baihu first to scare me ended up not giving the Bandit Raiders the extra speed. Now, because Lu Bu was so fast, I realized I would not be able to outrun him, and also realized he was spreading his units out way too thin. Only 1 cavalry, plus Lu Bu was chasing my 3 generals, so I decided to stop, just to hit him. As we took out that cavalry, and now we're running again, and he still has no help. As I see all the units behind, these cavalry are still pretty far away, so I decided, well, I'm not going to outrun Lu Bu, he's very fast, but I can outrun the rest of the cav. So if I could kill him here, then I wouldn't have to worry about the rest of the cavalry. I did a Flame of the Phoenix to clear out some of the cavalry, we dismounted, and we just started hacking at Lu Bu here. Even though we don't have the best weapons, 2 silver weapons on the 2 commanders, I do have a gold weapon on Sima Wei. And don't underestimate a 3v1 fight. Lu Bu should have kited away at this point, but he didn't. He's still trying to attack. Well mounted, the attack will look like a charge, which is why he's circling. And we killed him. The other cavalry weren't given charge command, which was a big mistake, as I was able to remount here before getting disrupted. And we kind of have to get out now. It doesn't look too great, but at least with Lu Bu gone, the fastest guy is off the map. And I still have health. We're unbreakable, so we're going to break free the other direction, kind of opposite of where they're charging us, so that we can make them turn. And off we go again. Now our cavalries are still alive. We beat another unit that was sent at us. Here I'm just trying to run them off because they're slower. Over there we're getting caught, but I think we can beat that unit as well. There was too few units sent to the corners to catch us, so we're doing okay in these fights. But morale is starting to become a problem. So we're home free for a little bit, and when we need to, we have another surprise attack ready to try to disappear from vision. We're trying to run towards our cavalry off here, so that if we get chased, maybe they can be used to countercharge and potentially rescue us. There is a pretty neat thing that Vermillion Bird did try to do later on, not at this point yet, but he did start to dismount his cavalry in these fights to give them faster attack animation. Also, spear versus spear, if you're fighting a cavalry unit, you get a bonus attack. if they're dismounted, they're not cavalry units. So they would get the bonus attack against me, but I wouldn't be able to get a bonus attack against them. As you can see, that's what he did here. And my units ended up routing pretty quickly afterwards, which is a bit unfortunate. So looking that I have lost the fight over there, and without any help, I decided to use the charge speed as a little boost of speed so I can run away from them a little faster. There was a couple micro mistake of not just right-clicking my generals with a unit and just trying to cover a certain area. That allowed me to pull distance pretty easily because you do get a charge bonus. Using the roar, I'm trying to route this unit quickly without taking much damage. I want to route them completely, just a couple of hits just to get the white flag. Probably a waste of time. Kind of realized that and just started running again because we're just trying to run. I'm trying to run towards friendly units. We lost the corners eventually. Just to use them before they die off. Maybe they can help me countercharge a big group just to buy me a bit more time. As you can see, I'm back on this little hill that we started out at in the beginning. I'm still trying to use this vision denial here, using this little height difference to kind of decide which way I want to run without them knowing. So once we're here, we're basically deciding which way we should go, and I decided that since they decided to commit this way, we're going to go the opposite way, even though there's a unit there. Now the funny thing is, after you dismount and you get into a fight, your horses get spooked, and you can't dismount at that point because all the horses ran away. So here are some spear units. I did not know that at the time, but realized that afterward. We're still trying to kite over here. The advantage being our speed. Once again, if the Bandit Raider, I think if any of the Vanguard Generals were the commander for the army, it would have been a little bit better in terms of the foot speed. Trying to spook me and prove me wrong with Yenbaihu first as a general, sort of calling back to all the round 1 matches where I blamed the contestants for using him as the lead general. Kind of backfired here a little bit. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of unit trying to swarm me, and fatigue is setting in. I think fatigue kicks in roughly about, I think, 5 minutes into the match. I do still have that surprise attack, not to become invisible, but to get 50% speed. As you can see, I'll just pull away even from their charge. Smawe, unfortunately, is the slower of the 3 generals, just by 10, and you can see the big difference. But he still, ooh, got a Heartseeker attempt, failed. But you can see he's still providing valuable speed boost to the 2 other generals, so once he falls behind, they will be slower too, which would be unfortunate. And you can see the charge speed difference and the fatigue factor. Even though I have over 50 speed advantage, I can't really pull away from them, which is a bit unfortunate. And I'm also running towards a target, which is actually on purpose, because I was hoping to get vision of the unit that beat me and then use them as a charge target to build up a little bit more speed. But we're just getting chased at this point. They're still trying to pull away. And once the surprise attack ran out, I know my speed is going to lag really hard. And Smawe was probably not going to get out at that point. I was ready to sacrifice him to slow down and do a couple Flame the Phoenix on the units just to stop them from chasing the other 2 in order to buy the 3 minutes needed to get another activation of surprise attack to delay this farther. Yeah, the big mistake is not right-clicking every unit onto a target. That is a micro requirement for Pursuit. As you can see, the charge speed bonus given to this unit allows him to catch up a lot easier than the others. But I can't run anymore. It's time to start slamming. And then maybe try to get out at that point if he routes, but we have more targets locking onto us. It looks like a group attack selection, perhaps. I will never really know, but it does look like all of them went on Smawe right away, which is not the best way to micro, but it looks like he's stuck. I'm trying to help him break by doing a roar here, because I know they're all pretty low, so perhaps I can get an easy route, but that probably wasn't worth trying to save our friend here. As the generals are finally involved in this fight, is he giving them the boost? Yes, so they're getting 20% now, and all we can do is lose someone to save someone else. I'm chasing this unit right now, just trying to use that as a little charge speed. But looks like we got dragged in here into a fight. Do get another slam off. We lost one of the Sma princes, but we're still alive and we're still running. Using another target to charge. The micro on these was a little bit lacking. As they're pursuing, I realize they're all selected to attack him, and Sma Link can just run away at this point. So that's what I decided to do, because this will delay the match the most. We can ignore Sma Wei, he is dead. I'm picking on as many targets as I can to get a little bit of a boost speed. Surin here will not let me go. And I don't think I can do much about it. She's trying to bump off my horse, stop my momentum completely. There we go. Realized that we lost vision of the charge target originally. There we go. Picked it back up. Asked her for a duel to see if I can mess her up. Of course she declined. My other general is long dead. And now we're just trying to run away for this cooldown, which will be on in about 40 more seconds. We picked another target to charge, but she's coming, so I'm trying to juke to not take damage from the charge. Because I know I can't outrun her at this point. I don't have the speed. She's faster with her Nature's Ally. I don't have any more. So I'm just trying to shift her direction to try to take less damage. And maybe make them change direction, run into each other, and then just stall them as much as possible. It's better to take damage from the cavalry than from her. Ouch. We did activate for the extra 50% speed. Let's see if we can get out without getting bumped too many times. Because we do have a burst of speed this time. Not 170, but 150, which is still pretty decent. And we're just trying to run, but too many bumps. Keep running, keep running. Well, I should have charged at this target. We have 4.8k health. Everyone's swarming around, swarming around. Can't twist out of this charge. Avoiding Surin, because she's gonna kill me in one hit. I have 800 health. And I don't think I'm getting out, as we are taken down at last here. So the official time are going to be the one displayed during the end battle phase. And Vermillion bird time is 13:37. Not bad for initial time. I think there were a couple of smart things and a couple of mistakes. The smart was the deployment of all the unit pressed up against the middle. Essentially took out half the map for me. I can't really spread out at that point. And the bad decisions were not concentrating, well, not putting a Vanguard General first to give that speed bonus to the whole army. And also not concentrating the charge units. So they weren't charging at a general. They were being told to run to a position instead of charging to a position, which killed some of the speed boost and also limited some of the unit use. Because there were a lot of units being forgotten early on. It was just Lu Bu plus one unit chasing me, which gave me the opening to kill Lu Bu. And that kind of ruined the first part of the plan, where Lu Bu hopefully would catch up with a bunch of cavalry and pick off one of my generals. But the recovery was fine. All the generals and the cavalry decided to pursue. There was a couple of smart uses of the dismount on the corners to take out my cavalry unit, which was very interesting. And in the end, I just got whittled down for a result of 13:37. And that's a pretty good starting score. So we'll see how that holds up as we have 5 more contestants to go. So until then, bye.